Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the DJI Osmo, priced at $650 US. This is essentially the same camera that DJI puts on its $3,000 drone, the Inspire 1, mounted atop a joystick. And basically, this accomplishes smooth video for just about anyone without having to carry around a system. Now, the camera that you see here has basically a 20mm equivalent lens, so it is wide angle, a Sony sensor. It's capable of 4K video capture in a couple of different modes, and of course you can also go lower, down below 4K, you can drop to 2K, and then beyond the 3-axis stabilization and controls on joystick, which you're going to see in a moment, the battery gets about 60 minutes of life, and you will have to pick up some accessories for this, no question about that, but pretty ingenious from DJI to enter a market that essentially has been occupied by GoPro, and Sony's in there as well, and basically teaming up with Sony here, or at least paying them for their sensor technology, which did start, as I just mentioned, in the Inspire, and taking it to the next level. So here we go. First time I'm actually getting my hands on this product, and I'm excited because it does actually seem to be a game changer. So we've got some paperwork here. The battery that's included, roughly 60 minutes of battery life from what I've read, and it does come with a carry case as well. We'll see if I can get this all out in one shot, giving me a little bit of an issue here. Got to take it out in components, I guess. So the first box you see here, I'm assuming is going to be the charger. We've got a carry strap right here, wrist strap I should say, and then what appears to be everything you're going to need to charge, I believe. That's definitely the wall adapter. The balance of it I'm not seeing. We've got a shoulder carry strap, it looks like. Put this aside. Let's pull out the next box. I thought I was going to be able to just take out the entire unit in one shot. Not happening. And, this is the first product of its kind from DJI. Yes, you can purchase other devices like it, and they are much less expensive. Basically acting as gimbals for your GoPro or Sony action cam. However, none of them, as I mentioned, are going to be as polished as this. So this is your battery charger right here, for those of you that were curious, and there is the port for this cable that I pulled out at the very beginning. And we have the battery itself, and as I mentioned, 60 minutes of battery life. This is one of those things that you're going to want to buy more of. Now, there is no way of previewing video from this device and actually having full control over it without using DJI's application for it. And that is everything that's in the box. So there's the carry case, and basically that application plus a $50 accessory is going to allow you to mount your smartphone of choice, Android or iOS, and use it as a live preview and, of course, actual output screen for this device. There is a micro SD card slot on board, and that is where the video and still, again, 12 megapixel still from this sensor. RAW capability is there. I'm not sure that you'll ever actually need it. And there we have the Osmo. So you can see right here, now this is interesting. I actually ordered the cell phone mount separately, but apparently it's here out of the box. Now this is curious only because B&H, who I did order this from, told me that it was on back order and hadn't been released yet. But meanwhile, here it came included with the Osmo. So I don't really know what to make of that. I guess it's a good thing. I'm not going to complain, but that's the mount you're going to use in order to put your cell phone, as I mentioned before, of choice on there. And then this is the actual, what many are referring to as a joystick. I certainly like that designation much more than a selfie stick, because this is far from it. I mean, we keep the interior of the packaging fresh, as you noticed. But what's unique about this is that essentially instead of carrying an entire system to create smooth video, you now have a single device. So a lot of people are going to love this for B-roll footage. That is, again, under the premise that it works properly. You can see the micro USB port right here on the back of the camera unit. And if it looks familiar, again, that's because this is the same unit that you'll find basically, for the most part, on the Inspire 1, except it's black instead of white. And for those of you that own the Inspire 1, you can actually pick up the joystick separately. I think it's $250 for the joystick accessory package, and then you have the ability to just drop your camera unit from the Inspire 1 right onto this. You can also go up to a micro four thirds option if this sensor isn't high enough quality for you for your at least type of filming, whether it's for professional use or personal video. Power button right there, recording button, and that will allow you to use some interchangeable lenses. That's not something I'm jumping to immediately because I really want to see how this thing functions first. And I'm assuming this will allow us to lock position, the trigger right here on the front of the grip. Basically, the novelty of this entire system, lock switch right there, is that it is going to give you, again, smooth video. No matter what your movement is. Of course, you should still be conscious of your movement like any camera that you use, but it's going to compensate in a way that no other gimbal-based system out there can. And in addition to that, beyond reducing the amount of hardware you have to carry around, it's also going to capture audio. But from what I've seen in clips so far, you're going to want to use separate audio because it does pick up the motor constantly. Pull off this cap right here, the lens cap. And that's really not something you want in your captured video. But as far as a B-roll device, I think this is perfect, especially if you move up to the micro four thirds option that they have available. Granted, it's very expensive. I don't think it's very expensive when you take into account what you would traditionally have to employ to accomplish similar capability from something this package. Also, it's relatively low profile. This is not something when you're walking on the street that is going to attract that much attention because even though it is unlike anything anyone has really seen before, it's not a gigantor. It's not a tremendous piece of equipment. So the low profile does keep it in a class that I think is important for what you're trying to achieve, which is great point of view footage that is stabilized, again, basically in a way that prior to this product was not a possibility. I'm looking for anything else. Looks like the battery gets inserted right here. Some common sense, of course. And that's pretty much it on the switches. We have a lock here for the camera unit itself, and basic instructions on how to unlock, or rather the gimbal I meant, how to unlock each piece. You can see it right there as well as there, and directional pad here for the joystick. So it looks well made. The question will be whether or not it works as well as it looks. And from what I've seen so far, the video does look fantastic. It really comes down to whether or not you're in the market for a product like this, and whether or not you think that $650 is more than they should be asking. One thing I want to point out before I wrap things up, micro SD card slot right there. You can see the black and blue. I believe that'll be a Lexmark card, but I might be wrong. So you can basically throw any SD card. I'm not sure what the ceiling is on capacity. Of course, I will test that out. I have a 128 gig card. Should be fast enough to write 4K. But that pretty much rounds things out for the DJI Osmo. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.